This is episode 13 in going from 1 solana to 100 solana using the Meteora DLMMs, and today we actually managed to get all the way to 77 solana. So as you can see, 67 in my balance, and this pool right here has 10 solana, I believe, that is inactive right now. So we are extremely close to finishing. We've managed to go from 67.5 in the last video all the way up to this new balance, mainly with the help of a few pools which have really pulled us up with Pesto and Moodeng, but also a few newer drops which had some crazy volume in the last few days. And as well as Telegram for some of the longer term pools, as I can have a lot of positions open, I do have these threads in the Discord, which are mainly just me posting my curves as no one else really does, but that's fine. I just like keeping, if anyone wants to keep updated on all my positions, that is totally fine as well. So this is the first trade of this episode, and Doods just launched their token. So I did not manage to get in the pre-sale, which is very stupid of me. I literally could have just connected my wallet earlier in the day and I'd be up a few extra sol, but I'm not. But I had a position already set up in the pool. So as you can see, it's not loading on my PC for some reason, and I'm not sure. But I did have a position in preparation for where I expected the market cap to be, which was around here. So I had about 6 solana and not a lot. And I did make about, $100 in fees straight off the rip, but now I'm sizing up a bit. I think it will stay stable here for a bit. So I'm going to have to show you the chart instead of my pool, but it is a spot with a bid ask from about that point where you can see my cursor right now, all the way down to this orange one here. This is my range, and I will update if I do adjust it. So that Doods trade did just lock in the profits which you saw, as you saw, my Meteora was bugging and I wasn't able to get any more. But moving on from that, we are in a new day and we are looking at some more meme pools. And to start with, we have this Pesto coin. So as you can see, I've already made some profit from it, and I also deposited some tokens I bought which have already gone out of range. I saw the potential in this coin to rise higher than where it was trading at when I first saw it, as kind of a beta play to the Moodeng coin, which has been shooting up and is about 20 million right now. So I entered around this candle right here where I bought 1 solana of tokens, and then I had some on the downside as well. So when it went down, I didn't know how far it was dropped, so I just made a spot position and it ended up dropping and rising again. It didn't go to the bottom of my curve, but that's the point of making these spot positions, is we don't know how far the token is going to fall before it starts rising again. And I'll just flip that back. So you can see I did buy the tokens and deposited some more as well. And we made about 0.26 in fees, but also the token is currently trading higher than my top bin. So these fees are worth even more than the 0.13. They'll be worth about almost 0.2 solana probably by itself. So this is what their Twitter page looks like, and as you can see, it's kind of similar to the Moodeng coin, which is at 17.5 million, but it's obviously at a much lower market cap. It doesn't deserve to be as high, but it was slightly undervalued from when I first saw it. So I actually went back into the Pesto token, and I've just been in it for about a day or two, and as you can see, I have $400 in fees on this wallet, and this, if you would believe it or not, was all made with under 4 solana. So what I did is I actually saw from after the rundown, we were putting it around here before. I waited for it to come back down, and then I bought some tokens, went 50-50, pumped up, and I made about 1 sol profit from the token and also about 2 sol profit from the fees. So as you can see from this profit card, this was the first one made with $650. Went back in again, compounding the fees, and then went back in again overnight as well, all just with pretty much the same basic curve, all a very similar range. I did rebalance 2 or 3 times, but it's given really good fees, and the total TVL has stayed fairly low with the volume this coin has been getting. So we're now actually looking a bit later down the same Pesto chart again, as I said guys, very often you're just in the same coins, just maybe making new positions or just leaving one position open. But as you can see, the token rose, so I did have to rebalance and make a new position. So saw a lot of buys coming in, and I did actually top blast this coin after the pump. So I bought about 5 solana or 4 solana, I think, right here to make a 2-sided position overnight. So a bit risky, but I went for it. And I actually used HawkFi, and I haven't mentioned them before, but basically what HawkFi does is it can auto compound your fees which you earn for you. So I made this position on the wallet which only had about 5 solana, and as you can see, I had sold this side, but not much, but I had a lot more on the upside. And what it did was, on my activity, it claimed my fees and actually put them back into the position to compound them once again. And you can see my total fees is over $100 because of that as well. So I'll just wait for this to load. You can see I deposited about 900, but we had this big compound effects every few hours which were reinvested. So now this is where I have about 5 positions open actually on my Meteora account, and I tried to give a summary of them, but for some of the long-term ones, I'm still in Snoofy and Lucy. I've just been staying in them, get some consistent fees. But going with this animal meta once again, there's a few more coins which came up. So this one actually isn't really part of it. It's called Dogs of Elon or something. If I go over to my portfolio and look at it, just a small amount overnight, because it was pretty high risk with how the price was kind of pumping and then dumping very suddenly. But it did stay in my range the whole night. So my range was here, but it did have a scary big drop here just as I was about to enter. And this is what it's made me overnight. So I did claim fees just before this, all with this amount of liquidity or less. So it has been overall a pretty good percent. So I can go ahead and claim that. But you know, there's a few other animals kind of I've been a part of. So there's this Winston coin as well. So it's actually a kind of near the bottom of my range, but I just hopefully a bit more relief will get me out of any red I'm in. But you can see the fees once again pretty good, and I have also claimed a bunch of other fees from this same position. All of these fees are from this liquidity I put in, so I actually put in a bit more, but obviously the value has gone down. So just after recording that last clip, literally under an hour later, you can see the green candles just shot straight up and we went to 2.2 million. It actually went out my range, and because my fees compounded and they were added back in, I actually didn't get to, you know, hold my about 1 sol of tokens to ride this pump. So I would have done a lot better if I just held the tokens, but you know, hindsight, you don't know what's going to happen and it might come back down now. But if you look at my profit cards, these are all from that same wallet with 5 solana, which is part of the same challenge wallet as well. So it is actually this first profit card right here, which I just cashed out, and I'm still holding a tiny bit of tokens, about $15, but not much. So I'm just going to have to wait, reassess if I will re-enter, you know, at the top, or if we have a bit of a retracement. Okay, so now moving on, it has been a bit of time. I haven't been as diligent recording as I could be, but that is because I have been trading on my laptop I can't record on, so you can't blame me. But what I do know is I am on 74.5 solana with these 2 positions open as well, with 10 solana in each of them. And this is due to a combination of pools giving me some gains, a lot with Pesto. You know, this coin was very good, but I actually did not pull a lot of these higher ends, and maybe I'm hoping to get it when it falls back down again, as that's the area we mainly want to target. And also with this Wawa coin, as you can see, I have some fees. I do have some divergent loss with that. This is a new coin that's come about, and I've been trying to make some profits pulling it. I did manage to catch this previous dip from here down and back up, and now I have opened a new curve, hopefully, so that it falls down and bounces back up, which I'm hopeful it will do with a bid ask, just to be safe, as you know, the market has been a bit of up only for a few days. No new coins have burst onto the scene, and I want to just play it a little bit safer. So what ended up happening is I actually closed that bid ask curve, which you saw before, out, as I did make some profit. It pumped in and out, and if I do pull up the deck screener chart for the Wawa coin, you can kind of see what happened. So it looks like it's actually dropped now. I'm glad I did exit, because you know, a lot of new stuff has happened. So it went down a bit, then it went up a bit, down, and then a bit up, just near the top of my curve. I actually around here, luckily avoided this whole red downturn, and we made a bit of profit. But now we've moved on to this pup coin. Now there's a few notable things about this. Firstly, the volume is insane. If you look early on, you can see 1 minute chart over 100k, up to 250k, and even higher at some points. So this instantly makes me want to DLM it. Also, you can see the volatility. Yes, it had a big drop, but that is due to some other reasons, with some PvP with another coin. But as you can see, it's ranged And actually, I did make a call for this. So this is super risky. I went 50-50. I bought some tokens and it was PvPing another coin, which makes it even more riskier. That means it could drop to 0 at any second if this coin kind of is found out to be unlegitimate. But I did believe this original one would beat out the other coin, which is PWP with this pool. And right now that coin is actually on around 600k. This could all change, mind you, and there could be another flip or both coins could go down. But right now you can even see on the 5 minute plus 50%. And as a result, this is giving us loads of fees. So I've made a lot of curves in a couple different pools, but I'm not going with large positions. It's a bit risky, but you can see crazy fees with the price movements. So on these pup coins, the PvP did continue overnight. Luckily, I exited before. I did miss up some run up, but I also am missing out on this massive drawdown. I do have a little position in this coin right here, but it's very wide and I'm not sure how long it is going to last if I do look at my portfolio really quick. So I'll let that load up and you'll be able to see a few of my positions, one in Pesto, Wawa, and that pup. But this is a new coin, Boo, which just popped up, and you can see how much it is rose in price. This coin is a moonshot launch, means it's launched on the dynamic pool, so we can get a lot of good fees through the DLMM pool, and it has printed me a ton of fees. This is a 250 bin pool. That means it's very, very wide. But I do also seem to also be holding an extra 0.25 of tokens. I'm not sure where that has come from. Obviously, just holding the tokens and selling the top would have given me the best gain, but I'm still going to be making a lot with this curve, and we might see another dip and a pump. But when I go out of range, I will be closing this. Maybe we can get another entry lower down. Now, this is a bit more risky, but I have gone back in, so I made a quick $80 profit from that last position, maybe a bit more. I'm not quite sure on my token profits. But I made a new one. I went one side with just Solana. So instead of me buying some tokens, hoping the price will go up, I want the price to go down a bit and back up. And you can see with, I think it's 3 Solana, it's printed a nice amount of fees. Right now I'm in the 100 bin pool, so it's a bit smaller, the amount of range I can set. And the fee is a bit lower. I think probably this pool is still a better pool to go in, but I did move over. So you can see my fees actually weren't that high, but I did get a lot of token profit. And simply, I don't know much about this token. I'm not bullish on it necessarily, but there's a lot of volume and it has a lot of, in the 5 minute, you can see plus 20% and minus 20%. And for DLMMing, that is the best combination. So this is just a little update so you can see it's just been moving within the range, and I have made about $60 in fees in this particular pool as I actually changed pool. I was in the 5% one, now I've switched over as I said, but there does seem to be a bit of, I'm not sure which is the best pool. There does seem to be a few people are buying in. So if I just keep this recording, maybe speed it up, you'll probably see it move about. Hopefully it doesn't dump out at the bottom, but I've made enough fees that I'm okay. So what I'm actually going to do on a few of my positions is I'm just going to claim the fees and sell. I have already sold some, but as you can see, even though it went down and has come back to here, it already gives me huge profits. So I just closed out my Pesto position, it went back to the top, and my Wawa position is also near the top. I'm just going to close it out so I can see the total Solana we're on for the end of this video. It should be a decent amount more than we were last time, but it's a lot easier to see when we're all out. So all of them are closed, and it looks like I'm on 76.5 with about, let's just call it 1 Solana of these tokens. So I'm on 77.5 Solana. Through these few positions that I just closed, I easily made between 2 to 4 Solana just with the quick coins where I did manage to buy some, go 50-50, but also the bid ask curves which I had open as well.